Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a book haul. I haven't bought physical books since like January. I've been buying some ebooks here and there, but I haven't bought anything physically since like January, and those were used. I got them on Pango. So after we moved and got most of the house unpacked, my husband had to leave for a month to do some training, and I was like, you know what? Since he just got deployed last year and now he's leaving me again for another month, I'm gonna treat myself to some books. Initially, I was only going to buy three, but what happened was is I had three, and then they each multiplied, so now I have six. Two of these books I have already read and loved, and four of them I haven't read yet, but I am really looking forward to. Also, I got a new mic to plug into my phone because it is quite echoey in here, and that's not something I had to deal with previously. And then my phone volume was doing some weird things. I'll obviously hear it when I edit, but you let me know if it sounds good or bad, I guess. This wasn't very expensive, but it was like mid-tier and the cheaper sides. So let me know how it sounds because I don't know if it's any better. It might sound the same, or it might sound better, or it might sound worse. I have a vent above me that rattles ever so slightly when the air is on, and it is rattling right now. So did you hear that? If not, then this is worth it just for that, because I could hear the vent rattling in my last video when I was editing, and I tried really hard to cut it out. Without further delay, let's talk about what I actually bought. The first book I want to talk about is Six Wild Crowns by Holly Race. I read an arc of this recently, and it blew me away. I was not expecting to love a historical fiction so much, especially one about Henry VI and his six wives. Essentially, this is a reimagining of Henry and his six wives, where they live in a world that has magic, and Henry is a very powerful king who has to marry six wives to like strengthen his own magic. And in here, he marries the six women. Well, he marries more than six women, but the six current wives essentially all bond to these six individual castles on their like plot of land that they have, like their little territories that they're given as queens. And when they marry him, there is like a ceremony and there's all this magic involved, and it's pretty cool. We do mainly follow Queen Boleyn and Lady Seymour. And we get lots of glimpses of the other queens as well. And it just really centers on these two women and their experience marrying the same man, for one, and living in this world that definitely treats the queens as items to be used. And I'm trying not to spoil, but it's so good. There is a lot of gossip in here. It's very Tudor style, like gowns and dramatics, and like sitting in like the entertainment room with like company and like your courtly ladies, and just like gossip and he said, she said. And then there's like a little bit of girl hate at the beginning. But even though I normally hate girl hate, I think the way that it was done in here was actually so good, because it starts off as like this thing that's expected of them, and then through that girl hate, like the plot kind of takes off. Essentially, the women that we are following have very feminist vibes. There's feminine rage, there's sapphic yearning. Like, excuse me, it was so good. I was not expecting to love it, honestly, because it's historical fiction, which I didn't realize going into it that it was based on like real history. I just thought it was a fantasy. And I could not be more surprised. I could not be more surprised. And when I initially picked this up and started reading it, I thought it was a standalone, but there's going to be a sequel. And I'm so excited because the way that this book ended, I knew, I was like, that can't be it. Like, I need a sequel. What do you mean this is a standalone? You just set it up perfectly. But that's because I didn't realize that it was book one in a series. And I'm kind of glad, because it made the experience of reading it so different, because I thought that it would wrap up nicely and then it didn't. So it kind of like left me shocked and left me like wanting more, even though it's based on like real history. There were some plot twists that I didn't see coming because I'm not really familiar with the Henry VI lore, like the history of him. So yeah, highly recommend. Even if you're not a history nerd, even if you're not like super, super into historical fiction, it didn't really feel like historical fiction. It felt like historical fantasy because it did have magic. It has dragons also. There are tiny little cute lap dragons in here, like and then they have lanterns with tiny little like flame dragons in them. Oh my gosh, adorable. They don't really play a part in the story that much, but they exist. They're part of the world, and I don't know, I just really liked it. It was so fun. Honestly, so fun. Also, I'm obsessed with this cover. I love the gold foiling. These two green dragons, this one down here breathing fire. I love, 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 love. The second book that I've already read. You know him, you love him. Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. I read this on ebook like in May, I want to say. I devoured it. Physically with my eyes, it took me 4 days to read it. And I've been reading so slow with my eyes this entire year because I've just had a lot of personal shit going on. But I couldn't put this one down. Everyone's like, oh, you have to read the audiobook. You have to read the audiobook. And I'm sure that the audiobook is great, but like the book is also just great on its own. So, for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure is very little of you, if you're here, because I've been chatting about it for a while, if you're new here, hey, welcome. Stick around if you want, I guess. But yeah, if you're new here and you haven't heard me talk about this before, this book is about a man named Carl. And one day he's trying to chase his cat who got out of the house for the first time ever. And he's like, I can't believe this cat got out of the house. She never does this. And he's trying to coax her back inside. It's cold outside. He's in his boxers. He's wearing pink Crocs. And every building in the world suddenly collapses. Every building in the world flattens. And he looks around him and he's like, well, what the fuck? And these gates appear. And then he starts hearing a voice in his head that is speaking English, but he can tell that it's some kind of alien transmission. And these aliens are like, hello, Earthlings. You are more than welcome to live on planet Earth and try to survive off of your surroundings. But your Earth government didn't pay their space tax for all of the materials they've mined from us. So we took them back, which is why all the buildings collapsed. So feel free to live on your own, or we will open these dungeon gates and you can go into a dungeon where you will be on an intergalactic space reality TV show where you have to survive a dungeon level by level. And Carl is outside freezing in his boxers, holding his cat Donut, Princess Donut Queen, and the Chunk, to be precise. And he decides, I'll just go to the gate because I'm cold. Maybe it's warm in there, maybe it won't be so bad. Little does he know, he will be fighting for his life in said dungeon. And that's all I'm going to tell you. But just know, it's so fun. If you like D&D, you need to read Carl. If you are a gamer, like a video game, you need to read Carl. If you like games that have a lot of fantasy, sci-fi elements, if you like dungeon-based gaming where you're like grinding a level, if you really like games with bosses, like if you're a Dark Souls fan or like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, etc., you will like this book. It's funny. Carl and Donut are so entertaining. There's a side character in here that I really like, and there are a lot of other characters in the periphery that we meet along the way who are funny, evil, silly, nice. There's so much involved in this first book, and you get like the teensiest little breadcrumbs of some intergalactic politicalness that's like at stake. Like there's a tension in the air. And there are some characters that I'm very suspicious of. So like it seems so surface level where you're like, oh, it's just like a silly, goofy, like dude bro book. Like it kind of is, but I feel like there's more to it. I think this book one is literally just, the whole point of this one is to just give you a feel of the world, give you a feel of the dungeons, give you a feel for Carl and Donut. And I think the book, like, I think the plot is going to get deeper and deeper as we go. I've only read book one. So I'm saying all of this, what I think is going to happen, but like, I literally have no idea. I've only read book one, but I finally own it so I can add it to my favorite shelf because I loved it. It was great. I really hope the rest of the books in the series don't ruin it for me. We'll find out. Only time will tell. Speaking of Dungeon Crawler Carl, the next book I bought, which I have not read yet, is Carl's Doomsday Scenario, which is Dungeon Crawler Carl book 2. I don't know what the synopsis of this one is, and I'm not going to read it to you because it's the second book in a series, so it could be spoilery. I don't want to spoil myself, I don't want to spoil you, but I just explained book 1, so we're all on the same page. I loved book 1, obviously, which is why I bought book 2. I really wanted to buy the entire series at once, but I was book shopping with my aunt, and she was like, Rachel, just buy the one you haven't read yet and the one that you like, because if you don't like book 2, then you didn't waste all your money. And I was like, why are you attacking me? That's rude. I didn't ask you to do that. But she was right. So I only bought this one, even though I wanted to get the entire series. But that's okay, because the Barnes & Noble closest to me is literally like 4 minutes from my house. So that's dangerous. That's dangerous. I'm going to have to start reading really quick all these books I own so I can go buy more, because I already want to go back. The next 3 books I'm going to talk about are all from my like most anticipated releases of this year list. And when I was at the store, I got these 3 because I wanted to get books I had already read, because I just kind of wanted to go shopping, and I had been reading a lot on ebook lately. So I was like, you know what, to appease the brain worms that are telling me to go spend money, I'll get books I've already read. And then I wanted to get another Dungeon Crawler Carl book. So that was the 3 I was planning on getting. But then I saw these 3 that I was really, really excited for when I heard about them before they came out this year. So that's how we ended up with 6 books. The next book I bought is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I love this cover, and it's so simple. It's just a fucking purple cover with a silver crow, like sketch almost, and then a little bit of gold around the trim. It's so simple. It is so simple. I don't care. I love it. Also, when I heard about this book, and I've seen Orbit post about it, I've seen it on their Instagram, look how big this is. Like, I did not know she was this thick. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this. I need a water. Oh, I bet that sounded great on the mic. If that wasn't awkward, I'll leave it in. A little water drinking ASMR. I'm just going to read the synopsis because it's been a while since I've read it. So let's refresh my memory together, shall we? Let us fly now to the Empire of Orin, where after 24 years of peace, the reign of Bursin the Brusque, I remember now because I couldn't pronounce that word, the reign of Bursin the Brusque has come to an end. In the dizzying heat of midsummer, 7 exceptional warriors, thinkers, and strategists compete to replace him. When one of them is murdered, it falls to Nima Kra, the Emperor's brilliant, idiosyncratic high scholar, to find the killer and fight for the throne. Nima believes she is alone, but we are here to help. All she has to do is let us in. If she succeeds, we will win an empire. If she fails, death awaits her, but we won't let that happen. We are the Raven, and we are magnificent. Dude, I just got goosebumps. My body is covered in goosebumps right now. I love the way that this synopsis starts out where, like, you know, it's completely normal. It's telling us about the book, and then all of a sudden you realize we are being narrated to in the synopsis by, like, the Raven Scholar, the Raven, whatever society this is, right? Like, that's so cool. Even just the synopsis is so cool. I can't wait to read this. I have heard nothing but good things about this. I'm trying to like dodge spoilers left and right. Anytime I see someone talk about it, I stay just long enough for them to be like, oh my God, I loved it. And then I click away because I just don't want to know anything. I think the synopsis is perfect. It gives you the overall plot, and then it gives you enough intrigue that you're like, I can't wait to read this. And I think there's a dragon in here. I've heard that it's not present for like a super long amount of time, but when I'm filming this right now, I think it's July 18th. Draconathon in August should be announced, I think next week maybe. And I need to fit this in. I don't care that the dragon isn't a major plot. I'm going to bend the rules. So sorry to Soleil and Jade because I'm rule breaking. There's a dragon in here. I'm counting it. I'm counting it for something because it's August, which is my birthday month, and purple is my favorite color. I am obsessed with ravens and crows, like corvids, magpies. Love them. Ask my husband. I always try to chase them in parking lots and get them to love me, and it never works. So this book, it was meant to be. I need to be reading this book on my birthday. I'm so excited. Doesn't that sound so good? The next book I'm going to talk about is, again, also really exciting, and that is The Last Vigilant by Mark A. Latham. Now, this was also on my anticipated releases video, and I've heard great things about this one from like friends and people I'm close to on BookTube. Magic is forgotten, Honor is no more. From the darkness, a legend will return. War between once peaceful nations is on the horizon, and the child of a powerful ally is missing. Now, Holt Hawley, an outcast soldier, has been sent to find a myth, a vigilant, one of the last survivors of an ancient and powerful order whose magic could be key to finding the child. But the vigilance disappeared long ago. No one truly expects him to succeed. Then, in a fabled forest, he stumbles upon a woman who claims to be the last vigilant. Imelda Drake is wizened and out of practice, and she seems a far cry from the heroes of legend, but they will need her powers and each other to survive. For nothing in their kingdom is as it seems. Corrupt soldiers and calculating politicians thwart their efforts at every turn. And there are dark whispers on the wind threatening the arrival of a primordial and powerful enemy. The Vigilant is not the only myth returning from the dead. First of all, I just noticed both of these have like a secret society, secret order situation. Love that. Orbit coming in clutch. As a girl who read the Da Vinci Code like 5 times in high school because I was obsessed with the Knights Templar, these books are right up my alley. I'm really excited for this. This is the last Vigilant on the cover, I'm pretty sure, or at least it's Imelda Drake anyways, and she like is elderly. Like she's like pushing like mid 60s. It looks like to me in this, and I'm so excited. Like, what do you mean we have an older female protagonist who's supposed to be like the most powerful wizard person thing? Like, I love when the protagonists of books are like adults. They have experience, they've lived their lives. So we get a deeper connection between them and the world. And it's also just nice to see like the main character having an adventure at like their older age, because like I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So like, I love adventure too. If I had the chance, I would go on one. So it's just really nice to see. Also, can we talk about the part where it said a primordial enemy? Primordial, like this guy is old. He's about to fuck them up. I'm saying guy, I don't know, it could be like a creature. This thing is about to fuck them up. And I can't wait. I'm really excited. I think Orbit is just cranking out bangers lately, and I'm okay with that. That's why they're my favorite publisher, obviously. And lastly, the 6th and final book that I purchased recently is The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. I have only read one thing from Emily Tesh, and it was the Silver in the Wood, and I forget the sequel's name. I think it's called the Green Hollow duology. I loved those two. They're both novellas, so they're very, very short. I read them within like a month of each other. I read the first one and I was obsessed with it. Silver in the Wood is so good. If you want to read like a really cute, folkloric, whimsical, queer, woodsy fantasy, I don't want to call it romantasy because it's not really. I think it's fantasy with romance. But anyways, I loved it. That was great. And so was the sequel. I can't remember the name though off the top of my head. Anyways, so I know that Emily Tesh has another book out right now, which is called My Memory. Can you tell my memory's jacked up? What is the other book called? I literally was just thinking about this the other day because I think Faye from Books and Chocoholic is doing a buddy read this month of it, like in her Discord with her subscribers. It's Emily Tesh. I think it's like a sci-fi. The fuck is it called? Oh my god. Okay, anyways, I know she has that book out, which came out before this one, but I didn't know about that book until recently. I had heard about this one coming out and immediately put it on my anticipated list because it's Emily Tesh and I loved the Green Hollow duology so much. And after I like found out about this one, then I heard about Emily Tesh's other book. So I also need to get that one. I can't remember what it's called though, but if I love this one as much as I loved the Green Hollow duology, I will buy that one, like no questions asked. And I really wanted to read it this month with Faye's channel, but the slump is slumping. I'm trying really hard to get out of it. It's not working. Anyways, let's read the synopsis. Dr. Walden is one of the most powerful magicians in England and the director of magic at Chetwood School. After completing her graduate thesis by binding a powerful demonic entity into a phoenix tattoo on her forearm, She returned to her alma mater to teach. Now, her days consist of meetings and teaching A-level invocation to 4 talented and chaotic teenagers, more meetings, and securing the school's boundaries from demonic incursions. Walden is good at her job. No, Walden is great at her job. When a new threat emerges in the form of the hired demon that has long waited patiently just beyond the school's wards, an entity known sardonically as Old Faithful, Walden and her colleagues, including the aggressively competent Laura Kenning, may be able to contain it, but demons are master of manipulation, and Old Faithful is only the beginning of their problems. It's Walden's responsibility to keep her school with its 600 students and centuries-old legacies safe. And it's possible the entity Walden most needs to keep her school safe from is herself. This sounds so good. It's described as sapphic dark academia fantasy. Sapphic dark academia fantasy. Need I say more? This sounds so good. This on the cover, I'm assuming this is the Phoenix tattoo. It's very pretty. There's some kind of like celestial, like doodle, like line thingy behind it, like some kind of rune, maybe like a celestial rune or a magic rune. And this just sounds so good. I can't wait to read it. This is giving me though like very autumnal vibes. So I'm really hoping to get to this in September to help get me in the mood for autumn, even though I live in a place now where it probably won't get very chilly, but at least in my mind, I will be in autumn. Let me know if any of these books sound good to you. Have you read any of them? If you have read these and enjoyed them, please let me know down in the comments. And if you've made it this far in the video, leave the Phoenix emoji in the comments as well. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.